Hello, Sunrise. There's so many of you here tonight. I'm overwhelmed. Get to an early start tonight because I believe I have a whole lot to get through. See if we go over or not. All right. So, before we start, let's go to prayer. Heavenly Father, I just ask you that you prepared all of our hearts tonight for this message, Lord God, and that we're able to receive it. And even if we don't want to hear it, that it still pierces through, Lord God. Tonight's topic is pretty dark, but we have to cover it so that the truth can be told and we expose darkness like you told us to in Ephesians 5:11, Lord God. I ask you to continue to bring everyone here that's coming here safe, and that you also convict the hearts that need to be convicted, Lord God, and bring freedom to every heart that needs freedom from the dangers of what we're about to expose tonight. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. All right, so as you guys know, my name is Chris Taylor, and our ministries Don't Let Them Burn. For those that haven't seen it before, here goes the trailer.
You ready? Yeah. All right. This is Chris from Don't Let Them Burn. Let me tell you what it's all about. Our first goal is to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to a lost and dying world through media. Our second goal is to expose the works of darkness, starting with entertainment, a device the devil uses to control your mind and soul. We also get into Bible prophecy, world events, the occult, UFOs, and other weird subjects. Why? Because these are the subjects that are interwoven into a lot of your entertainment. It's in your music, your video games, your reading materials, like comic books. I love them comic book movies, right? You really want to know the truth about some of these subjects and how to protect yourself and your families? Then subscribe now. Don't let them burn.
All right, preach the gospel and don't let them burn. Expose whatever you need to expose when you need to expose it. Don't be afraid of people. So you can follow me on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, and X. On Telegram, it's Don't Let Them Burn Official. Join the channel and you'll get to see the news updates and whatever else we put out, including resources. So this is Game Invaders, night number 2, decoding the world of gaming. And this time, like I said before, it's going to be a little darker. I chopped out a lot of the gross, gory stuff that I couldn't show anyway. So, but you're going to see from people's mouths what they actually say. So Ephesians 5:11 tells us to have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So what is a game invader? It's a satanic influence from this fallen world that taint what should be innocent and turns it into something profane. And what we're dealing with is the battle against the world, the devil, and the flesh. It's a continual battle that never ceases until Jesus Christ comes back. The world is always beginning, or begging, I should say, begging for your attention. The devil is always trying to influence and enslave you to sin. The flesh desires anything that's antithetical to the desires of God. So right now we're going to do a recap of the first one, and we talked about the fallen world. Understanding this explains why the world acts the way it does. We went to the origins of the first video games, and we covered a lot of detail there. Then we went to gaming consoles, and we went through the history of that, from Sony to Microsoft, Xbox, and Nintendo, and there are other ones. Then we went to the techno-psychological trap, which is geared to hook you into these games and get you very addictive. Then we went to the gaming economy, where we saw globally the gaming economy dwarfs films, the music industry, and American sports combined globally, right? So we went through some of the themes and on, whether it's nudity, demonology, and so forth, right? We went through escapism because a lot of us, because the way our lives are structured, some of us are not happy, we're depressed or whatever, we look for this escapism. We say we don't want to go out in the world and cause trouble, kill anybody, so we'll sit in front of the TV, binge watch, or play games, right? So then we went to the virtual world and how it's calling you and how it entices you to stay there forever, right? And then we went to the real world, and this is what God created, and this is where we were made to function, not in a fake reality. Fanaticism is basically, if you're a fan, you're a fanatic, right? So it's basically a fervent zeal towards something, whether it's a cause or an object or anything that you desire. And it's extreme at that. So we went to worship, and worship is to give your time or adoration to anything. And our worship goes to God, right? Then we talked about the idea of an avatar, which is the embodiment of a Hindu deity or a representation or embodiment of oneself online. We went through first-person shooters. That's basically when you enter the body through your console, you see the hands and the guns, but you don't see the rest of your body. So it's a first-person view. We went to third-person shooters. This is where you see the back of the person, the whole body, and you'll see the gun or whatever they're carrying. It could be a backpack, doesn't matter. You'll see it plainly, right? Then we went through some of the addiction, which we'll go through a little bit of that tonight. Went through the emotional toll that people go through, whether it's male or female, doesn't matter. We went through the gaming atmosphere, how you create an atmosphere in your home, depending on how you set it up and what type of games you're playing, what you're inviting. We went through how video games and other online things can rewrite your brain, and not for the better, right? Then we went through digital psychosis, and there was one article we covered where the lady was playing Pokemon Go, and when she went to bed, this thing supposedly manifested in her room and tried to rape her. Okay? So then we went through the death of many gamers, from physical abnormalities like blood clots and heart attacks, failures from, or heart failure from sitting way too long. And we're talking about over 10 hours, or days even. So then we have these characters, they call the It's Just Us. No one knew what I was talking about before, but I think you might get it now. They're the people that say it's just a game. It's just a movie. It's just a book, song, a story, whatever, right? And these people are pretty much speaking from the heart and don't want what they love to be exposed. And this is not legalism. This is just the truth. Exposing something doesn't make you able to put rules around people. It's their choice what they do after you tell them. So these people will say, you want to suck the fun out of everything, which is not true. I have fun. I might play a game once in a while, but I'm not addicted like I used to be. And certain subjects I stay away from. The facts are being revealed. We have to wrestle with the truth and make up our minds about how we honor God in everything we do. Some people ask, if I don't believe in demons, ghosts, evil, etc., they can't hurt me, correct? Just because a demon doesn't show up doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean the influence isn't around you. Doesn't mean the people that made a certain game or whatever isn't influenced by them, right? So, and it certainly doesn't mean they don't exist. Playing games for hours doesn't affect me. That's what some people say. And what? It's just a game. It's just a, whatever they want to put there is an excuse to avoid accountability. And then we have these type of people, before I get there. The heart, the Bible says, is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I'm pretty sure none of us knows exactly what's in our hearts, not in totality, right? So, and we run to these people that say there's nothing wrong with playing a game, right? There's nothing wrong, as if they've cracked the code of the universe, especially when it comes to games, right? They'll do zero research. They'll just protect what they love. And that's subjective anyway, to say that playing is nothing wrong with it. And we put that to the test last time, and we're going to put it to the test tonight. And we've already seen evidence, like I said before. So, the things of this world can and will cloud your mind. This is a spiritual war, and the demonic side takes no prisoners, are incapable of love, compassion, or mercy. Like Jesus said, the devil was a murderer from the beginning, right? And so he wants you dead. Doesn't always have to be physical. It should be different for Christians because what? Jesus didn't bring blindness. He brought truth. And so guard your heart. Not all video games or games in general are evil. That's not the message. But in every area of life, we have some rotten apples that should be avoided and exposed. If nothing is wrong with playing certain games, why are people's lives so upended? Here's an example.
We're going to turn now to our GMA cover story. It's about a new lawsuit that claims some video game companies are intentionally addicting kids to the games. Whit Johnson has the story. Good morning, Whit.
Hey, George, good morning to you. The mom you're about to meet blames video game addiction for her son's severe emotional distress, anger, and depression. After years of feeling helpless and trying just about everything to intervene, she's now taking on some of the world's top video game makers, demanding accountability and change. This morning, a major lawsuit taking on the video game industry. An Arkansas mother and son accusing manufacturers of intentionally designing games to be as addictive as possible.
I spent a lot of nights crying, thinking that I was a bad parent because of it. Because if there's any other parent dealing with this, I want them to know they're not alone.
21-year-old Preston Johnson and his mother, Elizabeth Jones, claiming in the lawsuit that the games he plays, including Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft, are specifically developed and designed to cause the addiction experienced by him and other users.
That's our goal, to make the video game industry defendants accountable for what they've done to the youth in our country.
Johnson's mom says he started gaming at age 12 and by 16 had dropped out of school due to his desire to stay home and play video games. The lawsuit claiming as a result of gaming addiction, he's experienced severe emotional distress, loss of friends, inability to limit game playing time, depression, withdrawal symptoms such as rage and anger.
At one point, I took away the modem altogether, and he went downstairs and screamed so loud, the neighbors called Child Protective Services because they thought I was abusing him.
Internet gaming disorder is listed as a condition by the American Psychiatric Association, and experts say the diagnosis would depend on the level of distress it causes.
Someone could be playing video games a lot, but it might not impair their functioning or cause an impact on their relationships, whereas someone else might be playing video games a lot, and it could really cause financial ruin or really hurting their relationships.
While many experts agree it needs more study, some psychologists say issues with internet gaming may not be a unique disorder, but a symptom of something else, like depression or autism. The Entertainment Software Association, speaking for the gaming community, telling ABC News, the industry invests in creating easy-to-use tools for players, parents, and caregivers to manage numerous aspects of gameplay. Claims that say otherwise are not rooted in fact and ignore the reality that billions of people enjoy playing video games as part of a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Preston's mom says his life has been forever altered.
When he started playing these games, I had no idea that these multi-million-dollar gaming platforms and games were going to create an addict out of my son. I never knew it would destroy our family.
Preston has not completed high school. He's not able to work a 40-hour work week. He doesn't interact with family. He doesn't have friends. He's a bit of a recluse, and the family cannot get him to engage with them.
Now, the family's attorney says they're suing for monetary damages to help cover Preston's medical care. Gaming disorder is recognized by a number of groups now.
All right, so nothing's wrong with it, right? That's that kid. All right, so let's continue where we left off last time, exploring more deaths among gamers. Here's another video.
Gaming Bolt presents people who died playing video games. Gaming is a massive industry, It delivers massive games with incredible worlds that draw millions of people in for hundreds of hours. However, despite the incredible fun to be had, gaming can be deadly if not done safely. Here are people who died playing video games. 650-hour play session kills 33-year-old Korean man. The binge to end all binges. An unknown man in China died after playing video games for straight 650 hours, or 27 days. Over the course of this incredible feat in gaming endurance, the player ate and drank very little, and what little he did eat was mostly comprised of ramen noodles. While the gaming marathon ended tragically, there's no denying this man's love for gaming. South Korean man plays StarCraft for 50 hours. StarCraft is a worldwide phenomenon, with millions of people sinking billions of hours into an addictive RTS. In 2005, a South Korean man named Lee Sung-seop became enamored with the sci-fi series to the point of obsession. After losing his job to his addiction, he sat down with his troops for a whopping 50 hours. He had been sitting in an internet cafe for almost 2 days. He was reportedly about to go home when he slumped over in his chair. Player murdered over in-game item. After completing a gargantuan quest in Legend of Mir 3, with 750,000 players participating, 2 players won an incredibly rare in-game item. These 2 players were known as Kui and Zhu, and they did not exactly see eye to eye on what to do with the item. Zhu, perhaps against his better judgment, sold the item online for a hefty sum. Kui did not take kindly to this, and in a fit of rage, stabbed his former friend repeatedly. Wii Fit causes heart attack. Exercise is usually seen as a positive, but when Tim Eves was playing Nintendo's popular exercise game Wii Fit, he tragically died. While jogging on his balance board, the 25-year-old scout leader collapsed. He was declared dead before he even reached a hospital. It was suggested that he might have suffered from a heart disorder, which could have been worsened by the physical activity. WoW player commits suicide in order to transcend the game. World of Warcraft was the biggest MMO in the world for many years, and some players got lost in the virtual world of Azeroth. Zhao Yi was a 13-year-old player who began to think that if he died, he would be united with his online guild members. Before committing suicide, he left behind 4 notes, each written from a perspective of one of the 4 in-game characters. He then jumped from a 24-story building, plummeting to his death, and hopefully, his companions. Chris Staniforth died playing Halo Reach for 12 hours. Halo Reach marked the end to Bungie-developed Halo games. The UK gamer Chris Staniforth was so excited he sat down and played the sci-fi shooter for 12 hours. This extended gaming session was just long enough for blood to clot in his leg to travel to his lungs, killing him. Player basically lives in the internet cafe until death. In Asia, internet cafes are extremely commonplace. It is where the majority of computer gaming takes place, and as evidenced by this, where a lot of fatalities take place. Dungeon Fighter player Wang Gang had dropped out of college and quit his job to live in a cafe and play games. According to reports, he practically lived there until his untimely death.
Yeah. Awful, right, Corky?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, the obsession is real. Now, it's not everybody, but a small group of gamers, whatever that number is, they have an addictive personality, like the one person said, depression, anxiety, and all these other things that come with life, right? So the next one is a mother shoots son over video game argument, faced charges in Atlanta. In a shocking event in Atlanta, a mother is reported to have fired multiple shots at her 17-year-old son during the heated argument revolving around a video game console. The console isn't revealed. This incident raises new questions about the role of video games in our society and the potential for them to incite violence. Now, this person, though, has a long rap sheet. Aggravated assaults, all sorts of violent acts. Is that me? Oh. All sorts of assaults and a big rap record. And so her outrage is not new. However, this was over a video game. This one, the dad punched and killed the baby son because he was angry he was losing a video game, right? Clearly, he had problems before he killed his son, right? And it says, a Kentucky man accused of killing his 1-month-old son by punching the infant out of frustration over losing in a video game was sentenced to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to manslaughter, according to multiple reports. In May 2019, Anthony Trice, 32, of Louisville, was alone at home with his baby son as he began losing a video game. He threw the controller and struck the child with his fist. The father then picked up his son in an attempt to quiet him, but dropped him, and he walked to the kitchen to prepare a bottle. Trice propped his son up in a seated position and stepped away to use the bathroom, police said. But he returned to find the child in distress, according to the citation. It goes on and on, but of course he was lying, and he killed his son. So then we have a man allegedly threw 8-month-old at wall because he was losing in NBA 2K. This one is in 2023. This is a wallpaper of the game. Very, very, very popular game. I think they bring one out every year. Yeah, they do. So it says the mother noticed. This is a very long story, so I had to truncate it. The mother noticed that the child was making noises. She went to work and came back home, okay? In his crib, when she came home a second time, according to the affidavit, the baby was allegedly struggling to breathe and his right arm was twitching, so his mother picked him up. She told police that White started getting angry at her because he knew what he did, and asked where she was going and told her to give him the child. But she took the boy and her father instead, to her father instead. Her father told her she needed to call 911. The child suffered from 6 broken ribs, a broken collarbone, and multiple skull fractures, according to the hospital doctors. They told police that they did not believe the boy would survive, according to the criminal complaint. Furthermore, police said that White admitted that he threw the child against the wall because he was losing in the game NBA 2K by 2 points. So the next one is children addicted to video games are attacking their parents and taking away their consoles make them more aggressive, expert warned. Now, I tried to really truncate this one, but it's so good. So parents shouldn't take away consoles from children who show signs of gaming addiction because it could lead to physical violence, and a psychologist warned. So it can become a police matter when kids lose access to gaming. The center recognizes gaming addiction as a disorder. It's seeing teens who are gaming up to 14 hours a day. Children are hooked on Call of Duty, Fortnite, FIFA, Angry Birds, Warzone, and Minecraft. By the way, Warzone is a sub-game, it's a part of the Call of Duty franchise, but you could play it totally separate, right? But no game is necessarily more addictive than any other. According to the center's founder, it has dealt with 745 patients since it opened in October 2019, including 327 last year. And this article is not new, by the way. So most of the patients referred to the center so far have been teenage boys, although adults suffer from gaming addiction too. By the time they see us, parents have tried everything, Professor Bowden says, right? Their immediate response is to take everything away. Take the gaming console, take the laptop, take the phone, which leads to aggression and violence. But in terms of the child, to the parents and the child's siblings. You see, you gave them the drug, and now you want to rip the needle out the arm. They don't want that, right? Once violence takes place, it's a traumatized family. The National Center for Gaming Disorders helps assess and treat people over the age of 13 who have difficulty controlling their video game use with therapy. Minecraft, again, FIFA, Grand Theft Auto, Pokemon, and Fortnite are some of the major titles that have caused addiction issues and led to referrals since the center was launched. But mobile apps like Roblox, Angry Bird, Clash of Clans have also sparked referral over the past 4 years. As well as acts of aggression, the center has seen some children self-harming. And this is an old pagan thing as well. The cults used to self-harm, cut themselves, and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, when they have their console taken away, saying they'd rather be dead than not game, Professor Bowden said, right? Others are skipping meals and avoiding having to wash. so they don't miss out on game time and say they would play 24/7 if they could. When we get to the next one, you're going to see why they're saying this stuff, because they want to stay plugged in all the time. And I know that feeling, right? There's no time for anything else, said Professor Bowden Jones. These are children who don't brush their teeth, who don't shower for months on end. Now, I didn't do that. Right? Others don't get proper sleep and can't focus at school because they've been gaming through the night. Online gaming platforms such as Twitch and Steam that let users team up with people from around the world in different time zones exacerbate this. Remember last time I told you if my friends went to sleep in New York, my friends in California would wake up? Exactly what they're talking about here, right? Or in another country. Another use problem is addictive loot boxes in-game treasure chests that award players random virtual prizes. Depending on the game, loot boxes could contain a new gun or a fast car or even high-quality footballer. But they may also contain nothing the player wants or needs, even though they've spent real money on it. Critics have compared loot boxes to virtual slot machines and have called for them to be regulated like a type of gambling. Previous research has shown around in 6 children steal money from a parent to pay for in-game loot boxes. Gaming is still enjoyed by the vast majority, around 98% of young people without causing harm, but the remainder are needing serious help. Those particularly prone to gaming addiction tend to be predisposed to impulsive behavior and less emotional regulation. They're called brats. One's experience was shared by a mother called Lisa, whose son Ryan became addicted to games during the COVID lockdown. Ryan was playing games such as Call of Duty and Minecraft on several different devices, including PlayStation, laptops, and smartphones. And if you don't know, because you don't play games, a lot of these games now, you could jump from one device to another. It's not all like that, but if it's a PC game or a Mac game, you could jump from one device to another. He was 12 when I first noticed gaming was becoming a problem, and it got worse during the lockdown, Lisa told Times. He would be gaming 24/7 if he had his way. And that's how serious it is. So this is from a reader of the same article. Kids with gaming addiction is not the fault of the kids. It's their parents to blame for not enforcing restrictions early on. I have a 6-year-old daughter who has been taught she can play on the PS5 only once a week, on the weekend for a few hours. When it's time to get off, she sighs in disappointment naturally, as she has lost track of time with enjoying the game, but still does as told, without violence, without threats, nothing. How is this so? Because discipline was instilled in our daughter earlier on. Parents of today are too gutless to say no to their kids, wanting to be friends rather than parents. When they wonder why their kids behave the way they do, and this is true. I warn parents all the time, don't just hand your kids devices. It messes up the way their brain develops and other issues, right? So now, this one, Daniel Patrick killed mother, shot father because they took the Halo 3 game from him. So basically, without the long conversation, they took the game, they put it in a gun box, and they went to chill, and he went to the gun box, opened it up, took out the game, took out the gun, went to his parents. His father, he said, close your eyes for a surprise. And the father, of course, trusted him. And then he felt his head get numb, and he was bleeding. And then he realized he'd been shot, looked at his wife, she's dead. And this is what this kid did to his parents. So this is another video.
These are some killers that were inspired by video games. So a Norwegian extremist named Anders Breivik was convicted of killing 77 people and attributed his training to practice using aim sight in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Daniel Petrick was barred from playing Halo 3 by his parents, and so, to retaliate, he stole his father's safe key, opened the lockbox containing the game and a gun, and shot both of his parents. Nathan Brooks did the same exact thing after receiving a General Electronics ban from his parents. A South Korean couple was accused of neglect and starving their infant to death after playing Prius online for days on end without tending to their child. This is similar to Cody Wajan, who taped his child's mouth shut during his gaming session and suffocated his child, leading to charges of third-degree killing over an Xbox gaming session. Many mass shooters like Nicholas Cruz and Adam Lanza are thought to have been inspired by Call of Duty, thanks to logging 10+ hours per day in the game leading up to their horrific acts. And finally, GTA has been accused of promoting dozens of citywide crime activity in places like New South Wales, Alabama, and even New York City. That's terrible.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why Call of Duty keeps coming up, they bring out another game every year, cycles every year, from 3 or 4 different companies. So it remains popular. And at the top of the list, top 5, probably number 1 or 2, depending on the year. Now, attorney from Wisconsin boy accused of killing mom over video game asked to lower bail to amount in piggy bank. Ridiculous. So this is the news report about the same kid.
New at 5, for the first time, we are hearing from the family of a 10-year-old being charged as an adult for killing his mother.
This happened just more than a month ago at their home near 87th and Hemlock. Our Uba Ali joins us live now after speaking with his aunt and grandmother. And Uba, what a painful time for the family.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're holding on to the great memories they shared with Kiana. Man, they remember her as the life of the party, someone who adored her children. That's why they say this makes it extra difficult.
It's hard because she's supposed to be here.
That thought keeps Laretha Mann and her family up at night. It's a tragedy that cuts deep.
I can't believe he did it.
Her 10-year-old grandson is accused of killing his mother, Kiana Mann, at their home in the early hours of November 21st. Detectives say the boy told them he got the gun because he was mad at his mom for waking him up at 6 in the morning and that she would not allow him to order a virtual reality headset from Amazon.
Did you ever think your nephew was capable of this?
No. Absolutely not.
Rhonda Reed still has a hard time understanding why her nephew, according to prosecutors, planned the murder of his mother the night before.
He was upset about these devices being taken.
Rhonda says her nephew started going to therapy more than a year ago. He was diagnosed with mood and conduct disorder, and part of his treatment plan was to limit his use of electronics.
Do you think he, as a 10-year-old, understands what he did?
I don't think he understands the brevity of what he did.
From juvenile detention, Rhonda says her nephew has told her he's blocked out what happened that morning and shifts the conversation.
When he calls, he's just like, make sure like all of my tablets and my laptops and everything that is mine is properly packaged.
Do you think he should be charged as an adult?
That's a really difficult question. I do understand how they were able to come up with that type of charge.
He needs to pay for what he done.
Rhonda believes the best place for his safety and for others is in jail, but with help.
No matter what happens with him, I'm not sure that in this state that he would receive proper care anyway.
Both women say there is no closure in a situation like this one.
There are no winners in this situation.
Extremely tough season for this family. That 10-year-old.
Yeah, so we don't really know the whole story. Something's going on with that kid that we cannot see. Is it just the electronics? Is it something spiritual? We don't know. And I mean, the electronics that he's so worried about instead of his dead mother, they're going to be obsolete by the time he gets out of jail, I'll tell you that much. So the invasion continues. Do you remember when games were simple? No online predators, AI companions. We didn't worry about demons and devil worship. We weren't subject to pornography in our games. Sometimes playing games would be a family event. The times have changed and the influences has as well. We are being flooded with evil, and most people can't make sense of it. Listen, the gaming community is like a microcosm of our reality. We just don't understand unless you're in it or in some of these online forums and really get to know what's going on. In fact, when I had the, PlayStation 3, I believe, they just introduced a new room where people could, dress up and do whatever they want and go into different rooms and chat or whatever. And my daughter and her sister was on the game, and my brother was like, "Chris, I can't believe you let them go." I'm like, "What?" You got adults in there. I didn't know. I had no clue. So we got them off the game, and they never went back on. So that brings us to this. So this is a game called Roblox, very, very, very popular among younger people, and unfortunately some old people too. When I say older, I mean whatever age, okay? Now, this is a short video of the creator of Roblox.
10 years ago, the world lost Eric Castle, the co-founder of the Roblox Corporation. Most of you may have heard of Eric Castle, but might not know much about his story. In this video, I'll be going over just that, from his very beginnings at Roblox to his tragic passing from cancer. This is the story of Eric Castle.
Hi, Eric Castle here. I'm here to show you a new feature that we're working on here at Roblox. It's an upcoming feature in development, so this is a really early prototype that I want to demonstrate to you, and it's pretty fun. So let's start by going into a little place. Here I am. And this place has another feature in it, which isn't ready yet, but is also going to be showing up, which is water. You can see I have a lake here in my terrain. And I'm going to walk over to the edge of this lake.
The story of Eric Castle begins on December 16, 1967 in the Golden State of California, USA. Although he never shared many details about his early life or family, Eric Castle was passionate about learning computing and programming in high school. After graduating high school in the late 1980s, he went on to get a degree in science at Cornell University in New York. Shortly after graduating college in 1989, Eric met David Baszucki, who at the time just founded a company known as Knowledge Revolution, which was a company that developed educational software for teaching physics. After seeing the company's potential, Eric Castle flew out for an interview to work with David. During the interview, Eric presented a piece of software he developed while studying at Cornell University. Eric and David kept in touch, reminiscing about how their interactive physics product was used more for fun than it was for learning and school. They saw that kids were building all kinds of funny and unique contraptions, and had talks about what would be the ideal ultimate online building toy. They wanted to build a 3D world that was completely physically simulated, where users could build, share, and play together. This was the foundation for what would eventually become Roblox. In 2004, Eric and David started work on the original Roblox product in an office located in Menlo Park, California. Over the next few years, they would build it up to its initial release on September 1st, 2006. Roblox was a massive hit, gaining over 50,000 users in the first year of being released. Seeing the potential for the company, Eric and David hired additional employees for the company. Eric and the team at Roblox would continue to work and build features and tools to build the platform to its full potential. However, early into Roblox's development, Eric Castle hit a roadblock. In 2010, he was diagnosed with brain cancer. Battling with cancer is never easy, but Eric Castle fought long and hard. Unfortunately, on February 11, 2013, Eric Castle lost the battle to cancer and passed away. To celebrate Eric's memory, his two children, who are still active on Roblox to this day, made a memorial place that anyone could visit to pay their respects. 10 years after his tragic passing, we continue to honor the legacy and impact he made on what the Roblox platform is today. In an interview with Bloomberg last year, when asked about what Eric would think of what Roblox has become, CEO David Baszucki had this to say.
You mentioned your co-founder, Eric Castle, earlier, who died tragically of cancer in 2013. If he was here today, what do you think he would think of the Roblox that Roblox has become?
Wow, I think he'd be proud. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Like, I think he would, his both of his sons have worked at the company a bit. So yeah, I think he'd be very proud.
Seems like you miss him.
All right, so Roblox is a billion-dollar company. Just to give you, remember, there's 3.9 billion people around the world every day playing video games. All right? So, what's wrong with Roblox? I'll get to that in a second. So this is a trailer just to give you a little bit more animation about the game.
This is Control. Give me a go, no-go for launch. Boosters. Go. Guidance. Go. Launch team. Go. Go.
Go!
Peta. Think that was a go. We're cleared for liftoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. We're coming in hot. Losing altitude. Prepare for impact. We've reached hyperspeed.
All right, so you see, you can create pretty much any world you want in there. I mean, it's all ugly to me, but so this one tells one of the dangers of Roblox.
It is kind of not safe to play Roblox right now.
App called Roblox.
Important warning to parents about who's chatting with their kids.
Continuing challenges with problematic content.
And make sure parents personally know who their kids are chatting with.
There could be vulgar material and even messages geared toward your child.
Adopt Me, Royal High, and Brookhaven are the 3 games you need to be careful of.
Wait, what do you mean careful?
No one is safe on Roblox. Shoot, that's intense, but I'm dead serious. It's a dark place, bro. There's sketchy people, bro. Like, and not the e-daters. I'm talking about the actual dangerous people, man.
Can I just mute them?
So it's not about muting people. They trick kids.
Dude, they just need to remove these RP games. Like, get these people out.
All right, so it's flooded with predators. All right, and you never know who you're talking to. I didn't gather a lot of material about this game. We've got a couple more things to show you, but the controversy right now is these predators. And so one says, outrageous. Michael, the young man behind Real Schlep, helped expose child predators on Roblox. And how did the billion-dollar company respond? Not by fixing the problem, not by teaming up with him, not by protecting kids, but by threatening him with a cease and desist. Didn't they just ask what the creator of this thing would think of the game today? Would he be on board with this? I don't know. But his ex-partner sure is, and whatever team they're working with, Roblox has done more to silence a whistleblower than to stop predators on their own platform. Let that sink in. And this is the young man they're talking about.
Just gotten a legal complaint from Roblox. I'm not even joking. They have sent a cease and desist letter to me, and they've gone ahead and banned every account I own. And you might be wondering, what heinous crime did you commit to possibly deserve that? Well, what I did was get predators arrested on their platform. Actually, 6 of them. I got 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. Some of them, the crimes are so heinous, I can't even say here on TikTok or wherever this is going. And the thing that's crazy about it is that Roblox has taken a more firm action against me, a person getting these people arrested, a person that law enforcement has made public statements saying that they are glad when people like me go ahead and give them information so that they can arrest these people. Roblox has sent me the cease and desist letter, not these predators. That is absolutely insane. And the other thing that's crazy about this is Roblox itself. It is a predator haven. There are games on Roblox like XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. That's about 7 million visits, and the whole premise of the game is showering together with kids. That is the whole game. If you join it, you're going to see predators, you're going to see naked avatars, you're going to see people peeing and all this sort of weird stuff. If I was a parent and I saw that, I would be outraged. I would be totally outraged. And parents aren't aware of this, and it's so sad. I get emails from kids daily about all the horrible stuff that they're exposed to. I get emails from parents talking about what their kids were exposed to. And there are so many predators on this platform. It is actually unreal. So it's quite crazy to see Roblox go after me, a person trying to get predators arrested off of their platform, than the predators. Why? I don't get it. I don't understand.
Because your mind isn't as corrupt as theirs. Yeah, and when you get rid of one predator, 3 more pop up. That's how bad it is. Probably more than that. All right, so that's Roblox. And the next one is, oh, how cute he is. Pokemon. It's a deception. They're called pocket monsters, and it's very popular. One of the biggest games, top 5 in the whole world. All right? Not going to talk too much about this because I can go 2-3 hours talking about Pokemon. All right, so what we're going to do is listen to this first.
We're back now with something that may explain any odd behavior you've seen on the streets recently. The smash hit mobile game app Pokemon Go has only been out for a few days, but it's already got millions following their smartphones to the most random places, and police fear possibly into harm's way. NBC's Jolene Kent has more.
Gotcha. Pokemon fever is back, and it's everywhere.
Nostalgia hits in, like, I'm a kid, I need to play this again. It's real life.
Well, he texted me like 30 minutes ago saying, let's meet up in Hollywood to catch Pokemon.
Trying to catch them all, you know? It's blanketing Los Angeles hotspots like Hollywood and Vine, attracting hordes of players to venture outside to Central Park in New York City to stare at their phones.
Pokemon Go is a free augmented reality game you play on your smartphone. GPS technology places animated monsters inside in the real world around you. Then you flick this ball here to catch it to move on to the next level.
Gotcha. Police departments across the country are cautioning against driving or trespassing while playing. In New York, a warning. Don't let Officer Manello and his new partner catch you. Don't catch them all and drive. Pokemon characters are also showing up in unexpected places like the delivery room and next to police at a protest in Oakland. But not all encounters are peaceful. Outside of St. Louis, these 3 suspects were arrested for allegedly using Pokemon Go to lure unsuspecting players into armed robberies. In Wyoming, 19-year-old Shayla Wiggins stumbled upon a dead body face down in a river while playing the game.
I wanted to go get a water Pokemon, so I just got up and went for my little walk to go catch a Pokemon.
The game warns players at the beginning to be alert at all times, but on social media, injuries are posted as badges of honor, bumps, bruises, and scrapes, proving that virtual reality can be just as dangerous as the real world, especially when you gotta catch them all. Jolene Kent, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Yeah, and so the easy definition of a monster is a demon. That's what has always been thought of hundreds of years ago. So today we've been kind of dumbed down to think that a monster is only just, like the Hulk or, a werewolf or, anything ugly that can cause trouble, but they're demons, right? So this from this article, it says, whether video games can cause players to behave violently has long since been debated. However, titles like Pokemon Go have been at the center of atrocious crimes, including several murders since the game launched in 2016. Additionally, Pokemon cards have been seen a rise in theft, one of which ended in a fatal shooting in April 2022. Now, a mother from Atlanta, Georgia, has reportedly shot her 17-year-old son several times in the heat of an argument about a video game console. So, and there are scores and scores of articles all over the place, people running over people, people getting hit by cars, people falling off of cliffs, and on and on and on it goes with just Pokemon Go. All right, so this is an excerpt from one of the shows I did called Pokemon Deception, and this is from a pastor that went down to South America to visit a ex-shaman that became a Christian named Shoefoot. Now, Shoefoot can't speak a lick of English. Listen to the rest.
Many years ago, I'm going to read this to you. This is from Mike Dawson, who is a missionary in the jungles of South America. And there's a guy down there who just died. His name is Shoefoot. That's what we call him. And he worshiped Satan at one point. I'm going to read. These are words from Mike, not from me. As missionaries working with the Yanomamo, I'm constantly reminded that when it comes to spiritual matters, I'm not the expert. Shoefoot was an ex-witch doctor. He accepted the gospel of Jesus Christ many years ago when my parents first started working with the tribe back in the early 50s. Although still a young man, when they arrived at the village, he was a witch doctor of considerable fame. He had already attained the highest level of, I can't pronounce that word, it's some kind of evil. Or the English translation is child eater. So he achieved the status of child eater. Because he could attack other villages in the spirit world, stealing the souls of the child there and causing the child to die. These souls were given to the many cannibal spirits who were his accomplices in murder. The soul would then be eaten by these demon cannibal spirits. Although having attained the highest he could go by his own admission, he was being overwhelmed by the bondage he was under even before he heard about the saving power of the gospel. So once he clearly understood that Christ was the only way to be freed from the bondage, he accepted Christ's claim on his life, and his life has never been the same. One of the times I was reminded of how much more the expert he is in spiritual matters happened one day a couple years ago. We had been in the jungle many long weeks with no mail from home, and a plane landed bringing us a package. I was excited as I took it home. Look, on a package from Wakanda Free Church. I gave her the package. She opened it up. She was as excited as I was. Enclosed was a book. Now that in itself was a big enough disappointment because I wanted some real mail, like maybe a box of chocolates or something. But when I saw the cover, I was even more disappointed. It was a book on Pokemon cartoon characters. I'm an old school cartoon, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, and their friends, and really don't get into any of the new ones, especially the ones that look as ugly as these did. Then we noticed there was also a letter enclosed with the book, and we read it together. Dear Mike, it said, it seems our church is having a discussion about Pokemon. With the church divided about this toy, so they were sending this book of all Pokemon characters to me, asking me to have Shoefoot look at it and see what he thought about the characters. Well, that was more interesting than just having a book of ugly cartoons for the boys. But to be honest, this was pretty low priority for me. As a matter of fact, Kayla had been asking me for weeks to watch a videotape of these same cartoons that our son Stephen really liked. She claimed his attitude really changed after watching these cartoons. I told her I would really planned on watching it with him, but we're extremely busy in the jungle, and I hadn't had a chance yet. But to be honest, I did not place much importance on the book. But one day when I was talking with Shoefoot, Kayla remembered the book and ran upstairs and got it. She handed the book to me. Opening the book at random, showing him pictures, I asked, what do you think of this? He looked at it and said, oh, I know this one. He suddenly had my attention. He went on this, oh, this is a nasty little Jecula, demon. It is always underfoot, bites, scratches, screeches, and whatnot. I looked at the page, and on the list of attributes, it said bites, scratches, and screeches, and claws. And I forgot what else, but it was as if Shoefoot was reading the page, and he doesn't read or speak one word of English. I figured that first one could have been a lucky guess, so I flipped the page to another picture and asked him about that one, and again, he told me exactly what its attributes were. He did this over and over, so he made a believer out of me. At that time, Kayla ran upstairs, called Stephen. He came down reluctantly, not wanting to hear anything, and determined not to allow anyone to do anything to his cartoon tape. He frowned slowly, disappeared as he listened to Shoefoot describe the attributes of each cartoon that he knew. By the time he was finished, Stephen went upstairs, brought his tape down, and he and Kayla destroyed it. So he made a believer out of Stephen as well. There were some he did not recognize, and he said, there are so many demons, it's impossible for any one person to know them all. Then he added, tell the people from your churches, tell the people from your churches that if there are things that make them feel uncomfortable, it's probably not good. God's Spirit will speak to them about what's right and wrong. Your people need to learn to listen. Talking to Shoefoot even when he was here, those are the demons. Those little Pokemons are the demons that they give to children. The demons that work with children. Don't get comfortable with these things.
That's right. Don't get comfortable. And it's hard to believe that somebody created a game and every single character, if it's so, is based off of a demon that hunts children. Okay? And there's this craze, I don't have a picture here, this ugly-looking, demonic-looking toy everybody's getting. It's a charm. It's called Labubu. It's all over the place. And the minute I saw it, I was like, no. It has a nice evil grin on it. I'm like, why would you even like that? But anyway, so the next thing, so video games in many ways are like movies. You see a poster, a picture of a dude or a woman or whatever, a group, and you're not told what's in the movie, you're just given a tagline, love lasts forever or something like that, right? And then when you go in, you might see nothing, or you might get ambushed by some lesbianism or something. It's the same with the video games. And so right now we're going to talk about the woke invasion of the alphabet cult. You know what they're called. And we're not going to stay too long on this because, again, this one can go on for 3 hours because the assault on us for the last 10 years have been outrageous. So back to Call of Duty, or wait a minute, this one is, here are 30 alphabet people video game being released in 2023. And it listed a whole bunch, and it was all, you know what, right? So this is Call of Duty. They started, this is Modern Warfare 3, they started putting trans and everything, all sorts of flags in the game, right? This is for the guns. It makes no sense, but to them, whatever, they're promoting their little agenda, right? All the flags in the game, you could pick, you know, whatever flag from the country you're from, but now you're going to pick a flag of your gender. And some of this relates to trans issues and pedophilia and blah, 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 all the rest of the stuff, right? And there goes the trans flag that you would put, you would claim the flag, right? And there are other ones too. It's about 20 or 30 of these flags for things that don't even exist. And then they put the trans bullets on put the painting on the bullets. Makes absolutely no sense. That's how you know it's demonic, right? And this is, I don't know who she is, but they made a character out of her for the game, which is clearly a lesbian, right? And then this is what people are saying online, going to cause some gender issues with well-placed rounds right in the family jewels. With these rounds and a few chuds, you can actually attack bigots in the game with pride ammo now. Bro, I would love to blow bigots' heads off with trans bullets. Kill the haters with the gay bullets. Ranged estrogen injection. I've transitioned you to dead, right? I mean, the internet, you're going to find all sorts of stupid comments, but it just shows you people's mindset. Now, this is The Last of Us. They have The Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2. They have the TV show and season 2, which was an abysmal failure. All it did was promote you know what. And so, but the game, she has, you know, all these lovers, you know, and this one on the left was translated from the game in season 1. And so you don't know if you have, it doesn't have to be kids. If you have a console in your home and people are buying these games and you don't know what they're bringing into your home, you wonder why they change so much regarding their sexuality or whatever else, right? And this one is called Horizon Forbidden West, and I can go on and on and on and on and on with these games, but I'm just picking some of the popular ones. Forbidden West, this is Aloy. She's the main character. Mighty Hunter, and, you know, all that stuff. And then in this game, it's finally realized, because they gave hints about her sexuality, and then, you know, they get closer, and so, and females love this game, by the way. So then we have this Mortal Kombat. I don't talk too much about this game because it's very brutal. You can't really show much from it, but anyway, this was an IGN report when all of this, I'm the first homo this and the first homo that came out.
Mortal Kombat's first gay male character may be new playable Mortal Kombat X character Kung Jin, according to an interpretation of flashback scenes exploring the character's past. One particular flashback scene in Chapter 4 features Raiden urging Kung Jin to join the Shaolin monks. I can't, they won't accept, Kung Jin says, with Raiden responding, they care only what is in your heart, not whom your heart desires. Yeah, right. NetherRealm cinematic director Dominic Scianciolo confirmed the theories, tweeting, I see people are picking up on the subtle exposition contained in Kung Jin's flashback. Glad we have observant fans. We've previously explored in depth why we need more gay characters in games and noted that subtlety in writing should always be praised and it's more representative of real LGBT people. Sexuality is a spectrum and should be depicted as such, avoiding the pitfalls of stereotypes. Released on 14th of April, series creator Ed Boon revealed earlier this week that Mortal Kombat X is the biggest launch in the franchise's history.
All right. So these companies hired activists, communists, that got into their gaming companies as consultants, okay? But one is called Sweet Baby Inc., and this is about turning everything in the games upside down. They don't want women to look pretty. They don't want men to be men. They want them to be softer. They want to push black identity and on and on and on just to change our reality, right? So that's one company. And then there's one called Black Girl Gamers, which are just black communists, and they push all sorts of agenda there. You see, it says it heightens black women's voice in gaming and advocates for diversity and inclusion and blah, blah, you know the rest, right? And so that's what a woman looks like today in a game. All right, now it's slowly changing because gamers have pushed back on this stuff, and the gaming companies who could spend $80 million on a game to develop it or more are losing that same money year after year. So here comes what I warned you about earlier. This is the start of the darker themes that we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, so don't be dismayed. Relax. I didn't put too much of it in there, okay? So we're going to talk about the demonic themes, the survival horror, the fighting games, and some of the mindsets behind them. So this one came out in the early 2000s called Mindhunt. I'm not going to show anything from this except for the cover, but a friend of mine brought it into my apartment one time and started playing it. I said, well, what are you doing with this game? You know, when the killer is strangling a person, it sounds like they're really killing a person. I said, that's gross. Turn that off and just take it out of my house, you know? So that's Manhunt, and it's one of the games that people tried to ban back then for PlayStation 2. Now, this one is a trailer for, you know, everybody wants to become a god and they want to promote it and all this stuff. That's what this is about.
I've learned that anyone can be a god, so long as someone believes in them. My journey started with these two devoted followers. They looked up to me for nurture and inspiration as they developed their lives. I could sculpt and mold every inch of this beautiful landscape using only my touch. As I've grown in power, so has their civilization thrived. I've watched my adoring followers as they've lived and learned and loved, and enriched their lives as they progressed through the ages of humanity. However, the path has not been without difficulties. At times it has been challenging, but I've had the power to prevail.
I like that. Becoming a god through a virtual world. Yeah, right. So the next one is called cult. No, this one is called worship. I stumbled upon this just looking around the internet, and so it was at the PC Gaming Show in 2024. It says, grow your cult with your friends. Worship. New trailer showcases the chaos you can create in a dark roguelike, whatever that means, where you start a cult, summon monsters, and engage in all sorts of hijinks. It was a Kickstarter campaign, basically. So this is the trailer. many of you would let your kids play that one? Right? And some people, they get more into the occult by playing these games. And the reason why those circles were being drawn is because that's part of the witchcraft rituals in the occult, and it's obviously made with blood. So, so this one is Cult of the Lamb. So they have all sorts of packs, the Heretic Pack, the Relics of the Old Faith, the Unholy Alliance, Woolhaven, I guess because you're sheeps or whatever, or lambs. And then this is the trailer. Notice how the same creature keeps popping up in different games, the one with the multiple eyes? It's some demon from somewhere, I don't know what it's called. But the themes continue. That's obviously a pentagram on the floor from the same game. So they're trying not to make it too scary, but more kiddie. And, you know, children will get drawn to this stuff if they're not being monitored. And so the next one is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is where, now, plenty of these games do this. This is where they're summoning demons, okay, through the games. For one, it's called Shiva. That was the one from Hinduism. Another one, Infrared from Islam, basically a jinn. Ramu, which is a thunder god or a wizard. An old man carrying a staff. Then we have Leviathan. Some say it's Satan. We know it's a creature from the Bible. But in certain lores, it's a demon, a powerful one from black magic for centuries. And we have the Phoenix, a Goetian demon, and it's found in Egyptian myth too. Bahamut, related to Behemoth. This is related to, I think, let me see here, the Arabic cosmography. And then Odin from Norse mythology, who is the father of Odin. So this is just some of the summonings. Hold on. Come on, play for me. Looks like this one doesn't want to play. Oh well. So they go on to Gears of War, and this one is basically another a third-person shooter. We're not really going to look at the game, but we're going to look at the mindset of the people that make these games.
Audio is everything. The sound of Gears 2 is crunchy.
In one word, I'd say meaty.
I talked to Mike Larson, who's the audio director on the project. I'm like, Mike, it's got to be crunchier. He's like, what does that even mean? I'm like, it just needs to have that crunch.
See, we're close. He likes crunchy, I like meaty.
I think being meaty and crunchy is really the same idea of really pushing the sounds, you know, to their ultimate potential.
It's like the world. It's heavy. It's grounded. It's substantial. You can't have thick characters, big monsters, you know, heavy environments, grounded environments, and have tinny light sounds. They have to carry their own weight as well.
It needs to hit, it needs to have punch, and it needs to just deliver and solidify what the entire experience is.
They're actually voiced by, you know, normal, regular voice actors, and they do really great monster voices. But what's amazing to me is that they have almost complete control over their phlegm in their throat.
In addition to the vocal tonality, there's...
like, it's really both disgusting and yet intriguing. because the director can actually say, yeah, I just need a little bit more phlegm or a little less phlegm, and they can do this really strange, like they just bring it out of nowhere and do this amazing stuff that basically sounds really cool, like you don't even need processing, but when you're done, you pretty well want to throw up.
Yeah. The weapons need to feel heavy and powerful, and when you blast something, you want to see lots of chunks.
The way that the player interacts in Gears of War is by shooting the world. That's essentially his virtual hand. And what he does is he essentially reaches out and touches the environment. He's touching his enemies to eventually defeat them by unloading bullets into them. We have the Scorcher, which is our take on a flamethrower. If you reload the gun perfectly, the shot goes further and it burns your enemies to a crisp, and there's much screaming and rejoicing when that happens. When you play multiplayer of Gears, it's not just about playing it, it's also about watching it. If you die in Gears, you're forced to watch for a little while. That's a very powerful thing when you know other people are looking at you. And if you knock your enemy down, he's trying to crawl away, and you have an option to do all sorts of cool, nasty, hideous things to him, you're going to do it, and you're going to get a good reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, I kind of like the beatdown, like when you turn the guy over and you can punch him out. I think that's really cool visually. And I love the sniper skull crush. You know, he just takes that sniper rifle, swings it over his head, and you can just flatten dudes.
And we want to make sure that the player still feels like what he's doing in this universe matters.
Nothing says I'm doing damage more than just seeing a blood effect come off of him. And so we've been doing that. Even our bigger creatures, we actually added Gore skeletons so that when you can shoot them, you can actually have things fall off of them.
And you can just blow guys up to smithereens.
We'll see entire chunks coming out of them.
The pieces fall around and they're floppy, and they're not, you know, they don't just sit there and hang out, right, and then fade away. They flop around and leave blood splats everywhere.
We use the term intimate violence to describe Gears of War. Even though we've sort of grown the scope of the combat and sort of bigger weapons as well, we still have these sort of intimate moments with the combat. It's like that old sort of cowboys and Indians feeling in the woods, you know, it feels really personal and really intimate.
Running away won't help!
So you see the mindset of the people that make these games. And I could have shown you one person, but I wanted to get you a variety of interaction there. So that's Gears of War. The next one is from Clive Barker. There were these series of movies back in the 90s called Hellraiser. I'm not going to show you anything from those movies, but this is someone that previewed the game, and these are his reactions to it.
Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival didn't just impress me for being an incredibly accurate representation of the Hellraiser franchise, but also has the potential to be a pretty rock-solid survival horror game.
We have such sights to show you.
Having played about 40 minutes of Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival, I have 4 big takeaways. 1, it checks all the most important boxes. It's got sex, it's got blood, and somebody even calls you a feces-covered pleasure monkey. So they're nailing it. Number 3, the production value of this game is impressive. I don't think I've ever seen Hellraiser represented in this fidelity in any way in the movies, and that is for the better. It is cool to see this stuff kind of, I don't know, come to life thanks to the Unreal 5 engine. And lastly, the game is so brutal, it is so graphic, that at my preview event, they had vomit bags just in case you couldn't handle. Starting from the top, Clive Barker's Hellraiser Revival is a first-person, narrative-driven survival horror, which, for me, well, that's checking all the boxes because those are all things that I love to hear. But in an era where horror movie franchises are just, I don't know, kind of being turned into video games, those video games are often asymmetrical multiplayer horror games where, whether it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game or Friday the 13th or any of those, they also did Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm very relieved that Saber Interactive is taking a much more refined approach in trying to honor Clive Barker's material, and so much so that they are working with Clive Barker in order to develop this game. They are not cutting any corners on this. They are going full on horror, gore, nudity, and then of course, like, you know, leather demon dudes who are coming out of hell or heaven, depending on how you look at it, and they're not pulling any punches. In fact, it is so graphic, it is so intense, that of course the first question I asked the developers, I imagine everyone's going to be asking them, is, so, what is this game going to be rated? Because even if it was mature, you know, they're pushing the envelope here, and you know, it's TBD on what it's rated. And you know, I asked them how willing are you going to compromise on this, and they said they're going to push it as far as I can.
Just saw the mind of a lost person that loves this stuff, and the stuff they put in this game, you would only find online in places that you shouldn't go. All right, and so that's that. And this one is called Dying Light. I'm not gonna. This is what one of the creators, how they try to promote the game.
Welcome to Casterwoods. My name is Timon Smektawa, and I'm here to give you an exclusive look of the amazing and brutal world we have created for you in Dying Light the Beast. Here I am, sitting in what was once a beautiful national park, now given way to decay and danger. Casterwoods is a stunning open world full of distinct biomes for you to discover. Experience total freedom as you go anywhere, climb anything, run for your life, and drive through the countryside as you scavenge for resources, fight for survival, and explore. All day and all night. But whatever you do, please remember, never, absolutely never, underestimate the horrors of Casterwoods. Biters, once unsuspecting tourists, now roam the landscape mindlessly. And you will also run into chargers, fast and heavy, so you will have to use all of your tactics and reflexes to defeat them. And when you're brave enough, go toe-to-toe with a volatile, the apex predator, the king of the night, a monster so powerful it's practically unbeatable. Unless you use your beast mode. And beast mode is a unique type of brutality you will inhibit as Kyle Crane. Witness the fierce conflict of beast and a man as you try to control your rage and your powers, because you never know when you might need them. And this is how you survive the night. Keep moving, trust your instincts, and always watch for the shadows. Can't wait to see you in Casterwoods.
Now, these games are very, very, very popular. So imagine when they start to come to virtual reality and put on these goggles, or you step into a room where you get to interact with it. Probably have a heart attack or something. This is Doom Eternal. Not going to show you anything from this. Pretty brutal. And then Doom the Dark Ages, the new one. But someone made a video, because I know some of the story, because I watched some of the videos online, but this person pretty much sums it up about some of the characters in the game.
Makers, though seemingly angelic creatures, are actually just demons with extra steps. Let me explain. Before the beginning of time in the Doom universe, one being existed before all, a primordial entity called Devoth, who was undying and possessed godlike power. For all intents and purposes, he was a god, at least with a little g. He created many of the creatures of hell, but at the time, they weren't the twisted monsters we know. His creations didn't share his immortality, however, and each one was cursed to die. In the eyes of Devoth, this simply wouldn't do, and so he searched for the secrets to eternal life. Try as they might, he and the citizens of Jakad, now known as Hell, were unable to find a solution to the problem that plagued all life. In an effort to find this answer, Devoth created the Makers. Their purpose was to find the secrets of immortality using their great intelligence. Through a series of events that are much too complicated to explain in a single short, the Makers eventually betrayed Devoth, sealing off his realm and leaving its inhabitants cut off, with nothing to do but fester in rage and ruin. So if Devoth is the creator of demons and the creator of Makers, then in a way, Makers are also demons.
I mean, the Bible says that these demons are afraid of hell. There's no king in hell. There's a king of the abyss that the Bible talks about, but Satan doesn't rule hell. He's in heaven accusing us of everything under the sun, right? And so the world has a totally warped version of hell in their minds, and they create all sorts of fantasies out of these imaginations. And so Resident Evil is one of these survival horror games, one of the first me and my brothers ever played, and all people could talk about at the time was the dogs in the game. There were some zombie dogs. This is just a version of them busting through the window. I'm not going to show you more than that. But this game and Silent Hill were the two games that put survival horror on the map, at least that I remember. And from there, it just got more popular and more popular and more popular. So now, remember, Call of Duty always comes up, right? And so this is Call of Duty Ghosts from years ago. Now, I stopped playing any survival horror or anything have to connect it to Halloween or anything very long time ago. But when this came out, I said, I gotta feel how it feels to play the character. You know, like I said last time, curiosity killed the cat, right? And so they introduced Michael Myers. If you don't know, that's from the movie Halloween, movie series Halloween. Then they introduced the Death Mariachi, which is just an apparition, and it's related to Day of the Dead, which is the Mexican version of Halloween, right? And so this is just a short clip here showing you how the game was. Now you get your care package, and then you run around as Michael Myers. I don't think I put any of the killing in here because it was a little, blunt. So no pun intended. But that's you. And then this one is for the Death Mariachi, where you run around and you inflict death and turn people into apparitions. And on and on and on. The death goes. If you're Michael Myers or the mariachi, you're pretty much almost invincible unless somebody hits you with a very powerful weapon. And that's another part of Call of Duty. And we're going to expose a little bit more about this franchise. This is from the zombie modes where people have told me that they had family members that had to quit the game because these rituals were getting too satanic. Well, you think, right? The whole premise of this thing is based on witchcraft and the occult. And so this is another view of that. And there goes the demon rising up there in the middle of the altar there. And more hexagrams and all these things that summon demons and whatever you want to bring into the world. That's another picture of the same demon. And this is from another version of Call of Duty, some mystical book or whatever. And then they had this weapons pack called Dark Rituals, which clearly has satanic writing all over the gun, right? And on your clothing and on your face as well. So that's it for Call of Duty. And so this is Street Fighter. Most people, it's a very popular game, but it was more popular to me anyway when we were younger. And so this person is called Dal Sim. He is the yoga master. If you don't know, yoga is Hinduism, and Hinduism is yoga. They're one and the same. There's no difference. Okay? But without getting into all that, this is Dal Sim.
Shall we begin? Prepare yourself. Of yoga. Time to resist. Is this what preordained? Accepting.
Yeah, and so in the old game, he would go yoga flame, yoga fire, because he's using demonic power to bring forth this energy that he uses to defeat his foes. And I can go on and on about more characters, but let's keep going as we get closer to closing here. This is Tekken Tag, and a lot of these games, when you reach the boss, the final person to beat in the game, you end up fighting some sort of demon. Now, one of the characters, the one on the left, is infused with the blood of Satan, which he got from his father. Okay? And so that's one of the bosses there. Actually, I think he's actually fighting himself in this scene here, Law versus Devil, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this one, you see the werewolf there behind the woman. That's the spirit, or the animal spirit, as they call it in these pagan rituals, controlling her and helping her to win. And this is how it is in martial arts. When you bow to someone, you're bound to the spirit behind them. That's why the movie was called Crouching Tiger. Tiger is the human, hidden dragon. The dragon is the spirit behind the person. And that's how it is in the martial arts, but most people don't know that, so it sounds strange when I say it. right? And so there goes more demons, more devils, and the like, right? You got jinns, you got all sorts of, a lot of these names that you see on the top there are from Japanese or Chinese folklore, the demonic beings, and they got thousands of them, so don't even try to catch up, right? Now, this is Killer Instincts. This is from Nintendo 64. We used to play this a lot back in the day, and they remade it. And so I'm just going to show you two characters because this game is so popular now that they have tournaments. They travel the world and play this game. So I'm going to show you four of the characters, but two videos.
To your god. Ready. Fight.
People love this stuff. Now, this next one, remember when I told you how I was oppressed by some demons and I saw it appear in my room? I'm telling you, it's no joke. It looked just like this guy you're about to see it, minus the mask and the claws. It looked just like it.
You were to herald my master's return, but you proved too incorruptible. But your conflict gave me strength, and your resistance has given me freedom. Woe to those who stand against me, for I am his herald and the sign of things to come. I am Omen.
It looked just like that. It just manifested in the room. Like, again, without the mask, without the claws and the wings, but it looked just like that. Smoky. So anyway, this one, not as possible, but it's good to point out because they made two of them, so it had to be somewhat possible. I mean, not possible, but popular. So those creatures right there are the demonic creatures that are infused to him, and he has this spirit animal that follows him around to assist him. This is a short, I had to cut this one really short, but anyway.
You again. Was wondering when you were gonna show up.
I got a staccato. He's over here. You're not so tough now, are you?
Hello, monkey. It's been too long. Give us a hug. I'll pass, but thanks for the help. What's that smell? You tell me. I came from your noggin. Or you forget that already? Come on then. Let's move. Give us a hand with the door, would you, monkey? Places to go, people to kill. Done.
He has
Let's
to eat
keep an
hearts
eye out for these then, shall
to
we?
replenish himself, to regain health. So we'll just show you the sickness of the people that create these things. So this one, Diablo, we talked about this last time. Obviously, it's about the devil. This is some of the manifestations in the game. One of them is Satan, and he goes up into heaven and kills God, or so he thinks. And then in the new one, this is Lilith. I don't know anything else about the game except that they introduced Lilith. Didn't play it, don't want to play it, I don't care. But people should know that these things exist out there. This is some of the gameplay here without video. You see the hexagram or whatever that is there, and it's a top-down view of game in the game. So anyway, then we have this one. I showed this a couple years ago, Rapture Rejects, and this is a trailer for it. Almost
God,
done, guys.
Every
Almost
day I
done.
strive to be closer to your light. I pray that when Judgment Day, that most holiest of days, comes upon us, when you bring all the good people to heaven, that I may live in eternal glory by your side. Amen.
Little help? Thanks, brah.
Harold! Get down here this instant! You didn't break the leaves!
Smell you later, you old bag! I'm sorry, I didn't mean it!
So no one takes the no one takes Bible prophecy seriously, you know? I mean, what happens after this? I mean, they show it in the game, but they don't take it seriously. You know, they think it's all fantasy from the Christian world, right? So, so the rest here are just screenshots. The Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind, Skyrim, they're all full of the same sort of necromancy, magic, sorcery, and all the rest. You got Bloodborne. I've never played it, but it was very popular. Dark Souls, all the same theme over and over again. Demon Souls, Demon Hunter. That title is so popular now. There's a movie that came out, K-pop Demon Hunter, very popular right now. Another Demon Hunter game, Demon Slayer, and you see how cute it is, so you're not going to think it's anything bad. Then you have this thing called Demon Drop, and it says here, dive into the dark world of Demon Drop DX, the ultimate monster hunting adventure, an action-packed skill game in pixel art style for up to 3 players simultaneously. Choose your difficulty level and plunge into the battle. Use your magical cubes and tactical skills to combine colors and drive away the creatures of the night. Demon Drop blends the nostalgia of the 80s with the innovative gameplay, bringing the arcade feel back to your living room. Dive into the monster hunt, conquer the challenge, and become the king of the dark world of Demon Drop. Basically, become like the king of hell. And then this last portion is the invitations to hell. What do I mean by that? A lot of these games, people want you to spend time in hell. Why not heaven? Oh, heaven's too boring, so we need to go somewhere dark, right? We have Hades, which is built off, I believe, Greek mythology. So they have Hades 1, Hades 2, and you go through hell, fight gods, fight demons, fight all sorts of things, right? Then you have Ride to Hell, Retribution, Saints Row, Get Out of Hell, and no one can get out of hell if you go there, as that's what the Bible says, right? See You in Hell, Hell Hole, which is a add-on for Left 4 Dead, a zombie game. Heaven and Hell 2, Mother Gunship, To Hell, With Hell, Overlord, Raising Hell. Then you have this crazy looking one called Helmut. You see anything familiar in there? You see the one over there to the right, down to the bottom, same sort of eye pattern as the other games, right? It's a very popular demon. And so, solutions. We finally got there. Solutions, right? We can't ban these games out of existence. When Jesus returns, all of it will burn anyway, right? We just need to protect ourselves, our families, and educate anyone else that is ignorant to this stuff. They don't have to know everything, but they need to know that there's a danger. And I could have went on and on and on and on about the same themes in these games, right? So pretty much get away from the evil influence. These games don't bring peace. They bring anxiety and nightmares. And I haven't even shown you any testimony about the nightmares, right? Let the peace of Christ, of Jesus Christ, reign in your heart. Consecrate your life to Jesus. Be disciplined and dedicated to the things of God, and you will be set free as it is. And so the next one will be on November 5th, and that will go more into the technology, the future technology, where all of this is going. So we've seen the foundation, we've seen all the demon, dark stuff. Now we're going to see the technology. And so with that, if you're not born again in here today, trust Jesus Christ, trust on his work on the cross, and you will be saved. You must be born again. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us through this message and the influence that it will have after it goes online. Please set people's heart free from all of the just the damage that they do to themselves with these games, and introduce them to something better, Lord God. And we just ask that you purge our hearts if we're stubborn about the attitude that we have towards what we love so much, Lord God. I used to be one of them. I never thought I would stop playing, but I did because you helped me to do it. So we just thank you and praise you and give you all the glory, Lord God, Jesus.